So here we are under the plant table again, and we got some things to talk about here. So you guys have followed along a little bit earlier on in the season, and we got our petunias going, and we've got our begonias going, and a few other little things. And I'm going to show you those things right now, but we're going to have some changes here because I really want to get back into doing some figs under here. Even though I was originally intending on not doing that, I've got some experiments that I really want to explore with you guys. And then I've picked up some really cool plants in the last month or so, and I really want to grow those out and see how they turn out and eventually do some propagation experiments on them. So let's take a look under here, see what we've got going on, what we're going to get rid of, and new things that we're going to bring in, and we'll see what's happening. All right, so there it is in full. We got our plants underneath the light, and as you'll notice, there's some new things going on under here, but we've still got the petunias here. They're just growing like crazy. I've already hacked these guys back several times, and they just keep flushing out with new growth and flowering really nice. Sometimes I get more of the yellows, sometimes more of the reds, and this time I've got a lot more of the pinks, but they're all doing really well. We've proven our theory, I think, pretty much. I mean, all we got is a few more months left, and it's time to start taking some cuttings and getting these guys going for the spring. We'll see if we're going to move forward with that or not. I know some of you are really interested, but we've proven the theory. We can take cuttings off these guys anytime. They grow really well indoors through the winter, and they will go just fine into spring, so you can take cuttings and get them outside. Now, the begonias. All right, it's going to break some of your hearts, but I need room under this table for figs and other plants. It's time for the begonias to go. I mean, as beautiful as they are, and they've got some beautiful yellow flowers on this guy, and beautiful reds coming in over here. I'm not really doing much anything with them. I pruned them back a couple times just to kind of clean them up some, and they just keep growing and blooming and growing and blooming, and like I said, as beautiful as they are, it's time for them to go because I'm not doing anything with them, and I've got limited space underneath this table. But let's get on with the really cool stuff. So I picked up a few new plants. Now, this little jade we had already. It was up by our kitchen sink, but I brought it back in here to get some more light. I'll probably pot that up into something a little bit bigger. But look at this orchid. I've never had orchids before, and I really want to start getting into growing them indoors here. This was my first one. I got it on sale. Everything's cheap right now in the houseplant area that I could find because a lot of nurseries and big box stores are generally just not selling plants much right now, and they're trying to clean out their inventory. So I think I got this for like $5, and a lot of times these go for like 25, 30 bucks when they're in their peak season. So it's already, this leaf is completely new since I've had it under here. It's forming another new little leaf and lots of these little root guys, and I'm still learning about these orchids. I don't know a ton about them, but I've just kept it in the pot it came in with this real loose bark. I think that's what we're going to have to grow them in, and we're just going to see if we can get this to flower at some point. It did have a flower last summer, as you can see, but that flower is long gone. It was spent, like I said, this guy was gotten at a discount. But so we're going to get into some orchids in the future. Now this one right here, this is Croton, and I've always loved this stuff. We had this growing up. My parents always had some house plants like this growing up when we lived in Phoenix, and I bought this on sale as well for, I think I paid like $2 for it, but it did not have any of this new green growth when I got it. And just being under these T8 bulbs, look at this. Look at all this new growth down in here. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? All these green leaves are new. And these red leaves here that you see, they were on the plant when I bought it, but it's really going to like this area under here. I want to get it potted up into a bigger pot and see what it's going to do. And then, of course, we've got some pothos. I saw this golden pothos when I was at the store. I think I picked this one up for like $2 as well. Absolutely beautiful. It's doubled in size since I've had it under these lights here and doing really, really well. So I'm going to keep it under these lights, probably up pot that, and just see what we can do with this. Of course, they're tiny little plants now, but in the future, I plan on doing all kinds of propagation experiments with these guys under here. But right now, they're little. We got to get them growing and put some size on them. So out with the old, in with the new. I got to do some pruning on this one right here. We're going to hack that back again so it's manageable. These begonias are going. Maybe I'll just put them out on my kitchen sink just for, you know, a little bit of color out there. We'll see what happens. See how well they grow out there without all the lighting. We got some orchid going on. We got some jade plants going on. Croton, pothos. we'll see where this takes us in the future. But what this is going to do right now is allow me to get a bigger tote to combine both of these into, and I've got those bigger totes that I can fit 1, 2, 3 of them under here. All these I think will fit into one of them, and I'll have 2 slots left for figs and anything else we want to grow under here. So that's where the future of underneath the table is going. And I know I'll probably get some questions on this, so once again, I've said it before, but all I'm using here for lighting, nothing special. You can get all this at big box stores, just T8 bulbs, and they're the 6500K lighting. So real bright white light, really nice for growing out vegetative growth on plants. Of course, those petunia are flowering really, really nicely. However, they've been doing a good job at vegging out a lot of these other new little house plants here, and I'm excited to see how they do. So this is an 8 bulb setup. It is an industrial light. I had to buy it online and have it shipped to my house, and then I wired up the plug that goes into it because it's meant to be hardwired. But that's what's working for me under here. Probably a little excessive, but we're having fun with it, so there you go. All right. I might as well show you what we've whittled down to here. So isn't this nice looking? Everything's just looking real healthy and beautiful, and I love it when plants are thriving. And then we've got our petunia back there left over, all hacked back, and you can see every time I cut this thing back, I'm having to cut it back a little bit so that there's more growth out of it, because you don't want to hack this thing all the way back to nothing but stalks. You want some leaves on there so that they can feed the plant and this thing can really grow. But it'll be good to go for a little while now, and eventually it'll bush out and be flowering like crazy, probably just in a couple weeks here. But for now, everything's looking so nice. I can take this whole setup here and just slide it right over, and I've got room for 1, 2, 3 totes total, so we could do some figs under here and maybe do some other things, but I got to be careful because all these plants are going to start growing bigger and bigger over time. All right, so there you go, guys, the future of what's going on underneath this table. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button. Join me again in the future for more updates on where this wild little garden goes. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video. Adios.